Hi, this is Val Biancanello.
Okay.
Who's this?
Denny Pitch Smith.
Is Chris on the call?
I don't think so yet.
Hello, it's Michelle.
Hello, Michelle. It's Val Biancanello. How are you?
Good. Am I early?
I don't know. I'm just a eavesdropper.
Oh, well, I'm curious to see what's new that we don't know about, like what's happening the rest of the week.
I'm just waiting for Chris.
Okay.
I'm a spectator.
Oh, well, you can talk, right?
I guess. I don't know. There was someone else on the call, too. I'm not sure who.
Good evening, folks. This is Chris Sofield. I am on the call now.
Hi, Chris. It's Val.
And Michelle.
Sorry. Hello, Michelle, and I missed the first person.
It's Pitch, Chris.
Oh, hello, Pitch. And we will let everybody join in, and we'll just give 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we'll start into the call. We will try to keep the call under 45 minutes. When people want to speak, make sure you announce who you are, and when you do speak, say your piece, and then say over. That way people know that you are done saying your piece, and you'll be able to answer any questions you might have without speaking on top of each other. So we will start the call in about 1 or 2 more minutes. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm just a spectator.
So this is bucksPAC.com, and I do appreciate everybody getting on the call.
There should be some good topics tonight.
Really? There's just nothing going on in the world.
Were you there yesterday in front of Fitzpatrick's office, Chris?
No, I was not able to make that. I understand about 150 people showed up, so
I watched
wonderful.
it on my phone. It was pretty good. I don't know if they actually sent Fitzpatrick to go to Wednesday. I'd be surprised to find him there.
Yes, it's a lot of good citizens going out to Oyster Displeasure.
Washington, right?
Oh, yeah, that'll be on Wednesday. We'll discuss that on tonight's call.
Okay.
Chris, it's Pidge. I thought yesterday was excellent.
Okay,
I thought yesterday was excellent.
I was able to bring up our conference call attendee list, so we do have a good group of people on here already tonight. So this is Chris Sofield. I appreciate everybody joining us tonight, and I do have some people that I just have phone numbers, so I would like to kind of clarify who they might be. And the first one is a phone number that ends in the last 4 digits of 2051.
That's me and Denny.
Paige, thank you very much for joining us. And
Danny, thank you for this.
Happy New Year's to both of you.
Thank
I
you.
do plan on saying Happy New Year's until about November of this year, so this year will be a much happier New Year's. And I do have another phone number with the phone numbers that end at 3822.
That would be me, Val Biancanello.
Hello, Val.
I think it's great. I wanted to hear what you're doing.
This is bucksPAC.com, and I do see some other friends joining us.
Peggy Bujan.
The one friend I just saw. Peggy, did you get my text message? This is Chris with bucksPAC.
I did, and I replied that I was cleaning up from dinner, and I'd be there in 5 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. This is a new year, January of 2021. We did make it. We're here. It's a fantastic time, new year and a new promise, but also there's a lot of work that needs to get done. And this is one busy week. This January did not come in sleepy, came in with a lot of events that are going on. So we do appreciate everybody joining us tonight. One of the things I'm going to be doing, this is Chris from bucksPAC.com. We'll open up this meeting. For the ongoing future, we have decided to make this meeting every Monday night. There seems to be enough events going on, enough information that needs to get out there, that we're going to do this event every Monday night, 7 p.m. Monday nights. Feel free to invite more people to it. We have a good group of people here, so we'll try to get everybody an opportunity to speak, and we will keep on providing information via bucksPAC.com for our friends to get together with other like-minded Republicans, conservatives, people who can make a change here in Bucks County. We have a nation to save, but we also have a county to save, and we work very hard to make sure that we have the conservative voice out there to be able to speak to other conservatives. With that, I am going to open up our little segment that we started a couple weeks ago, which is Tell Us Your Story. Peggy is somebody who worked with us on Andy Meehan's campaign over the last year and a half. We've become fantastic friends. Appreciate Peggy joining us on tonight's call. So, Peggy, I'm going to give you a few minutes to tell us your story and how you became a conservative, that Republican here in Bucks County. Over.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I've always been, a conservative person, but I wasn't very active until about 5 years ago when I noticed that Brian Fitzpatrick was not like his brother. I, would send him emails, contact him. His answer was always boilerplate, didn't really address my concerns. And I just happened to stumble on Andy Meehan that was running in the primary against him. And I got on board very early with that. I was thrilled to see that someone was willing to go out on a limb and challenge him. So I got involved in that campaign, and I feel we were very successful, that we made our voices heard, and that we maybe have awakened some sleeping giant in Bucks County to be aware that just because someone has an R next to their name does not necessarily mean that they vote your values. Now, going forward, I'm, supporting bucksPAC. I'm in Florida, actually, at the moment, but I can support people remotely. I have a phone and a pen like Obama, but that's basically my story. Over.
Peggy, thank you very much for everything you have been doing. A little side note, Peggy was making phone calls from Europe to reach out to people. She was in Europe for a little while during the campaign, and the amount of work, you were nonstop. We appreciate everything you did in Andy's campaign, but also for everything you've been doing to keep conservative values going. I remember speaking to you, just like myself. You grew up in Levittown. My parents were original settlers in the Levittown development when they first built that in the 1950s. Just expand upon a little bit of your growing up in Levittown in Lower Bucks County. Over.
Yeah, I went to Bishop Egan, very conservative background. Lived in Levittown from the age of 11 and went all through Catholic school, 16 years of Catholic school. Really was not, I voted. I never missed an election, primaries, everything. But I just assumed that in the background people were being honest and that our representatives that we were selecting were going to carry out our wishes. And I guess as I matured, I realized that was not the case, that actually people would go into politics as middle class and then come out millionaires and on a $200,000 a year salary. I don't know how that happened. Corruption. I'm the oldest of 7 brothers and sisters, and taught at Neshaminy High School French for many years. And then my husband and I started a business. I worked there for 26 years, and we recently sold the business and have retired to Florida. Over.
Thank you very much, Peggy. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you telling us your story. Everybody has a story when it comes to becoming politically aware, and it's just nice to hear how people came about that. We tend to just think of ourselves in groups of Republicans and Democrats, but each and every person has a story, and it's probably something that you should get used to telling, especially when you're speaking to somebody who you're trying to convince that the Republican Party is the route they need to go so that they can have the most good happen when it comes to a government being able to be run. We've seen over the decades, century, as the progressives have taken over the Democratic Party and as they have continued to just do each and every wrong move. It's amazing how they can get away with that, but with the media, press, covering for them on each and every misstep they make, that they can do that, where Republicans are held to a higher standard, and we just need to be able to just bring more people along as we attempt to bring more Republicans into the fold, have people who are currently registered as Democrats to switch to Republican. The Democratic Party has left the JFK Democrats in the dust. They do not care about those people anymore. And those are the people that in the future we need to speak to and bring them into the Republican Party. And that is what bucksPAC.com is attempting to do. As we grow, we attempt to grow the Republican Party. And that on bucksPAC.com, that's why we keep calendars, keep the meetings, the township GOP meetings, and each one of those clubs we try to put them on the calendar. So if anybody has information they want to put onto a calendar, we've set up bucksPAC.com that now you can just go right into that page and enter in information onto the calendar. So you can get your voice out there, and you can direct people through there so that they know when you meet, when you get together to build up our Republican Party. That's what we're doing. We do have a few other special guests on here tonight. So first off, Peggy, I want to thank you so very much for telling us your story. So very important. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for joining us tonight. A couple weeks back, we had Greg Archetto tell us his story, and we appreciate that. Greg, you're on the phone tonight, on the conference call tonight, and I know you said you might have to leave early, so I was going to give you a couple minutes to speak. I just wanted to finish up just a couple key points of what we're looking to discuss tonight. This is the first week in January 2021. It's such a very important week. We have the swearing in of our congresspeople, House of Representatives, senators. That happened Sunday. I think some of them might have happened today also. Tuesday, if you have any friends in Georgia, you need to make sure that every one of your friends in Georgia have gotten out there to vote, and we'll definitely vote on Tuesday on Election Day. We have 2 Senate seats, which is very unique. This will determine who controls the Senate, and the Senate is the final wall to keep us protected against the socialist Democrats as they attempt to take power. And which brings us to things that are happening Tuesday in Washington, D.C., and definitely things that are happening on Wednesday in Washington, D.C. And one of those things is the Mega Million rally that is happening down in Washington, D.C., the amount of buses that are going down there. I thought tonight I would be talking to people about, hey, you need to get on the bus and you need to go down there. The few people I spoke to about the buses that we posted on our calendar, those buses are filled up. People are going down. It's fantastic. Donald Trump is supposed to speak at 11 o'clock on Wednesday to the citizens that will be down there. At 1 o'clock, they start a procedure in the Congress, joint session of the House of Representatives and the Senate. At that point, the Vice President, Michael Pence, will be doing the official counting. One thing I'm going to do is just tell you what the oath of office that Vice President says when he takes office, so we will know what he's supposed to be upholding. I'll just quickly read that, and then I'm going to pass this over to Greg for him to follow up on a little bit of commentary. I, Vice President's name, and we know it's Michael Pence, so do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully execute the duties of the office on which I am about to embark. So help me God. And that is an oath to the office that Michael Pence took in 2017. Now it's time for that to bear fruit. It's time for him to uphold the Constitution, and for him to uphold that Constitution against enemies, and specifically it is the enemies that are attacking us domestically. So with that, I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes. I'm going to allow Greg to discuss whether he wants to discuss Tuesday's election in Georgia or Wednesday's mega million march in Washington, D.C., but I'll give you a few minutes. Greg, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it, and thanks for everybody else for joining the call. I was when we spoke 2 weeks ago. It was the news of Trump saying "come on down to Washington" was was fairly new, and so he's been garnering a lot of attention. And I want to echo what Chris said regarding the amount of people that we're hearing that are going. It does look like it's going to be much bigger than the previous quote unquote rallies. You got to remember, this is a protest, so I mean, let's have the right mindset. We're going to go there. We're going to be in big numbers, but this is something we're going to bring the full force of the country into that swamp and let them know that they work for us. And that's something this has been a while in the making. This is brilliant realpolitik, in my opinion. To have folks there on the ground, letting them know you do this right. Stick close to one another. I do think we're going to have a good thing, but we're going to be at full force that day. Plan to stay a couple of days if we can. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or that afternoon or into that evening. The mayor has been a royal pain in the rear end, so they've ordered restaurants to stay closed, but I did see there are trucks that are shipping in porta potties. There will be food trucks out there, but I would still say bring a backpack full of waters, food, anything to barter with. Stay in the groups. Don't go off into the, by yourself, especially after dark, because I am hearing that they're bringing folks in to be rabble-rousers. They will not attack the massive crowd because they will get their rear ends handed to them, but they will try to peel you off and assault you. So just be wary of that. Keep your head on a swivel. We want to have a strong showing, and I think we will. But it's also, this is a very tense time. You've got a lot of banana heads that have just been brainwashed or paid to go in there and upset the apple cart. And you're seeing just how deep this rot goes, in my opinion. And I think I have to believe that this has to be by design, because you can't have not seen this coming, knowing how much hate they've thrown at this guy for 4 years. So, I mean, it always seems, I hate to be cliche, but it's always darkest before the dawn. I'm holding out a lot of hope that we do get some surprises. I'm not so much concerned with the Georgia election. I can't really do anything on that on my part from here. On the one hand, I see the president and the vice president gave a great speech today saying, go out and vote. And I agree with that. On the other hand, I can see where people are saying, well, if it's rigged, what's the point? Well, if I were me, I would set a trap and let these guys try to steal it when everybody's watching, so that you show them that it's a blowout. And that if it's a blowout this time and it wasn't last time, then you have further evidence to show, that they were cheating. So that's for the Georgia thing. The president's going to give a rally tonight at an airport out there, so I'm looking forward to watching that. But for Wednesday, I know there's going to be some events in D.C. tomorrow, and people are already trickling in. I'm not going to be there until tomorrow night. But yeah, I would say. There's definitely been some interesting developments today. I don't know who's familiar with Lynn Wood, which is one of the attorneys that's covering the civil litigation for President Trump, and he seems to have gone really out there. I'm not going to call him crazy, because some of the accusations he's thrown out there, I highly recommend you watch his Twitter feed and what he's throwing out there, because he's definitely making some people nervous with some of his bombastic accusations. And if anybody, they're just dismissing him, saying, oh, he's a quack, he's a kook. But you have to understand, this is also a lawyer that's one of the most respected lawyers in Georgia. His expertise is defamation law, and so he's basically goading anybody to say, sue me. I'm calling you out, John Roberts. I'm calling you out this one. I'm calling you out that one, and I'm calling you all these things. Sue me for defamation. And it's eerily quiet that nobody's, suing him. So, he's definitely stirring the pot. That was an interesting development overnight. I don't know how much mainstream media is giving it any play, because I don't watch them anymore. It's poison. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I've got a crew of friends going down myself. I've got a couple friends that I'll be staying with. But yeah, plan to stay for the day and maybe possibly two. I know we've all got jobs and lives, and we're going to try to get back. But we're going to be at our apogee there. And if there's a couple 100,000 people standing outside the Capitol, I'm sorry, there's no chain link fence to stop me from going in there and letting them know that they need to do the right thing. And I think everybody needs to come in there with that same attitude, because this is our country. And, this is something that we have to, pay it forward to our children and our grandchildren, but we also have to honor the sacrifices of those that came before us. And that's very, very important. And so I think if we go in there with that mindset and we assert our rights and we let them know that this is our house and this is our town and we're done getting pushed around, they're going to have to do the right thing by sheer numbers, or they're going to get tarred and feathered. It's just that simple. So we've had it, and I think everybody needs to bring that attitude with them. Again, stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, stay with the groups. I think that what I saw in terms of how the Wednesday is going to progress, I know there's a bunch of stuff going on tomorrow, but the Wednesday, from what I saw, is going to be meet at the Ellipse between 7 and 9, right in front of the White House, the big, basically 56-acre ellipse. Get out there, and then the president will address everybody, and then I'm assuming everybody will march down to the Capitol building, pitchforks and torches and whatnot. I don't know how well Metro is going to be working. I know they have the roads closed around there, but you might still be able to get I don't know where your buses are going to be parking. I don't know where they're going to be offloading. But I'll be coming in for Virginia, so I'll be probably taking an Uber in with my friends, or just walking across the bridge and by the Holocaust Museum is right there south of the Ellipse. So you can just walk north on 14th Street from there, and you'll see the crowd. Just follow the crowd. I know it sounds like I'm rambling, so if that was helpful, great. But if not, anybody has any questions, let me know. Over.
Greg, thank you very much for that insight. It's great that we will have somebody on the ground, somebody who will understand what's happening. The insight that you've given me on our private conversations, I don't even think of stuff like that. But one thing we always have to think of is during the Republican National Convention and the final night of that Republican National Convention, which was held on the White House grounds, as people were leaving, it was nighttime, it was dark, and when it's dark, the Antifa and the Democrat Antifa come out and start attacking people. And they are so brazen, they even attacked senators. Senator Rand Paul was attacked. So they are not above attacking anybody that they think is a fascist. And they flat out do not understand the term fascist, but they call themselves anti-fascist. So it is something to be very concerned with. It gets darker early. It's winter time, so it will be dark at 4:30, and it's something to be concerned about because these events will be going on. My understanding is President Trump will be speaking at 11 o'clock. The events, and I would guess from the time Trump ends speaking and the people start marching from the White House up Pennsylvania Avenue to the House of Representatives, the Senate, our Capitol building. They'll be there by 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock is when things are supposed to happen. The first event that will probably be unique will be when Arizona gets called, and they do it alphabetically, and Arizona should be the first challenge that the House of Representatives and the senators, Josh Hawley being the senator who first said he would challenge. So at 1 o'clock, that will be going on. There will be, I'm sure, speakers who will be speaking on the grounds in front of the Capitol building. I know when I've taken rallies and gone to protest in Washington, D.C., usually something is set up within a stone's throw of the Capitol building itself. So that would be something very, those speeches will be going on. And I do know that Doug Mastriano, Pennsylvania State Senator, I know he has a couple events, so you might want to go on his page and see what events he has. I think he's got one going on at 4 o'clock, which I find a little bit scary with the fact that I do believe that Antifa will be waiting for darkness to start attacking people, and I think there will be some trouble going on. So that's something to keep in mind.
Shipman.
Yes, I saw you just got on. So over with that, and very good, Mona. So we have, so we're about halfway into our conference call, if not a little bit further into that. Mona, I appreciate you joining us. I was going to just call out a couple other people, give them a few minutes to speak also. But there's a lot of great events going on this week, and it's historic. There's no doubt about it. We're living in a historic times, so that's something. And one of the people I did want to, Pidge Smith, you joined us tonight. I met Pidge and her husband, Denny, roughly 4, maybe 5 years ago when I first started getting a little bit more involved, and I probably should get involved. But Pidge Smith, I truly find you as a dear friend of mine, and I appreciate you joining us on the call. So I'm going to give you a few minutes, and appreciate you being on the call. So with that over, and Pidge, you have a little bit of time on bucksPAC.com. So take it away, Pidge.
I just want to say I have to commend you guys for what you're doing. I enjoyed the Facebook yesterday with that little thing at Brian's office. I'm praying so hard for everybody to be so safe on Wednesday, and I hope our president can prevail.
Amen.
Yep. And so I can't even. I have been so out there. I'm so upset with what's happening. I can't even function, Chris. Too much is going on, and we need to make a statement. I don't know what to say. You have anything you want to say, Denny?
No.
But I appreciate this, Chris. I think it's a good thing you're doing.
Well, thank you very much. bucksPAC.com is not just Chris. We have a couple people working for us. We have a lot of moving parts in the background, which these people do a wonderful job putting together. Like I said, the bucksPAC.com website
Who's involved with you, Chris?
One of the people that does a lot of work, and he's going to hate the fact that I'm going to say his name because he likes to keep quiet about things, but David Feeney, he does just a ton of work that I would never be able to organize anything like this without Dave Feeney's help. So he puts together this website. He keeps everything operating in the background, and he makes me look good. so we will just leave it at that. I don't want to give him a big head or to embarrass him.
Is Andy involved with you?
Andy's not specifically involved in bucksPAC.com, but we definitely work together because we both have the same type of goals, which is to grow the Republican Party as a strong, conservative, Republican value party, and to get people who live in Bucks County, who live in PA01, to realize that when they move in from other areas, and they might be Democrats, but they moved into Bucks County because they are conservatives, and they should be voting as conservatives. They should be Republicans. That is a reason why they moved to Bucks County. They didn't move to Bucks County because they wanted what the Democrats want. They moved to Bucks County because they want an area where they can raise their children in a safe environment. And that doesn't happen in Philadelphia. That doesn't even happen in Montgomery County anymore. It's the fact that we do not want that to happen to Bucks County. And that is why we fight. So we're willing to work with everybody with conservative values and to get more people to actually help get more Republicans elected. We have very important elections coming up, and one of my homework assignments was to make up a list of what offices are available to run this primary and into November. they're the offices nobody wants to hold, but they're so very important. Now, I know they're the school board, they're the township commissioners, the township supervisors. They're those type of offices that we need to get conservative people to step up and run for those offices.
Yes.
So we want to work together with everybody on that. So,
and we do
appreciate.
And we need to fight to get that courthouse back.
Yes. We have Matt Weintraub, who will be running, and my feeling is he's going to be running against huge money that George Soros is going to throw into Bucks County, because he's already flipped over Montgomery County, I think Delco or Chester, one of those counties.
Chester.
Yeah, Chester County. So they are throwing tons of money into a race that nobody thinks people throw money into, but when people want to destroy America, they throw money at it, and they make that happen. So, and I do see that I think Val dropped off. We were texting back and forth this morning, and we have bucksPAC.com here, and Val was talking about starting up DelcoPAC.com. So unfortunately, I was just about ready to give her some minutes, and I just noticed that she had dropped off the call. So I will probably get her on maybe next week's call and give her an opportunity to tell us her story. So I'll definitely write myself a note on that. So a few other people that are on the call, I do want to give you the opportunity to speak up. I see Jimmy Clendenin had dropped off, but Jimmy's been a wonderful warrior, as he is not afraid to knock on doors and get people out to vote for Republicans, and also he has run for many offices and come up short, but he keeps fighting for it. But I see Nancy Wolf, you're on the call. Did you want a few minutes?
Oh, it's my first time calling in. I'm listening to your Super PAC. I belong to a group called New Hope for Our Nation, doing a big push. For Trump, we have a bus and maybe two going just from our area here. There's buses going from all over, I've heard, going down to D.C. No, we're pushing now to get the supervisors, the school boards, to get conservatives in that realm.
So thank you very much, Nancy, for joining us. And yes, Maria does a wonderful job there with New Hope for Our Nation. And the things she's been doing has been fantastic. And one of the things she is doing is working to get people to start up charter schools and get involved with school boards. So that is grassroots activism that is wonderful in the New Hope, Soulberry area of Bucks County. So we appreciate the battle she's doing now. I know Maria and Rochelle are in a Bible study tonight, and so I know they don't normally join us on a Monday, but Nancy, appreciate you joining us, to speak up for New Hope for Our Nation out of the New Hope area.
Just if there's anything we can do.
Okay. Nancy, I appreciate everything you've been doing. It's been wonderful being with you over the last year. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do have somebody with a phone number that ends 7070. And
it's Milo, Chris. How you doing?
Oh, hi, Milo. Okay. I was not sure. It comes up as McGuire. So.
Yeah, that's the phone company crap. We switched everything over to my name like 3 years ago, but the caller ID, whatever that piece of data is, didn't change over to my name. So, what are you going to do?
Well, humans really mess up, but if you really want to screw up, get a computer involved.
Thank you.
So that's good. So I do appreciate everybody joining us on bucksPAC.com tonight. Michelle, do you want to take a few minutes?
I did try to get involved with your campaign or with Andy. I do photography, and I was going to try to follow him around the whole time. I just try to follow him anyway, even though I can't always be there. I've been a Republican ever since I got to college. My parents were always very Democrats, but Democrats were different in those days. But you kind of sort of stick with it because you don't know what else to do. But there came a point where I was a definite Republican, and I'll never change that. But I do get very upset with all the things that have gone on in the last few years. It's just so hard to believe that people can. I have trouble with it because they're very intelligent people, but they do some fairly unintelligent things. So for a while, I was doing. But after I retired, I was working for Red Cross in Philadelphia, and I was kind of their main go-to photographer. After a while, I realized that the whole organization was blue.
So, Michelle, I appreciate you joining us on the call. This is Chris from bucksPAC.com, and I do appreciate you joining us on the call. Michelle does wonderful photography. She did some work for Andy, and I almost had to laugh when Michelle said she was trying to keep up with Andy to follow him and take photographs. Nobody can keep up with Andy. He's got too much energy. He's one guy that is hard to keep pace with, and he's going to be very entertaining. He's taking his 2 buses down to Washington, D.C., and I think he loaded them up just because people want to watch him be entertaining for the bus ride down and the bus ride home. So I think he's going to do fine. I know when we've gone, Andy and myself have gone to rallies in Washington, D.C. He took over the rally. The one rally was so disorganized, but with Andy there, we rounded up all those cats, and we made that rally work, even though there was a lot of structural problems with the group that put the rally together. But with Andy there, he rounded them all up, and he got everybody to make the march because people were bailing out very quickly, and Andy made it work. So it was a very interesting day with Andy in Washington, D.C. So if you are going to Washington, D.C., make sure you track down Andy so you can be somewhere in his vicinity because he makes it entertaining, if nothing else. Michelle, you were going to say something else?
Oh, it was just when he was out near Fitzpatrick yesterday, he played on his harmonica the entire Star Spangled Banner. He's really good.
Oh, he does a wonderful job, and he tops it off with a little Irish thing at the end of it. It's very, very good. We need more people in politics who are entertaining, and they're out there. So, we have a few more minutes before we want to wrap everything up, but I do want to thank everybody for being on bucksPAC.com tonight on our conference call. It's a very important week. Tuesday with the Georgia election, and Wednesday with Mike Pence counting the electors. But the fight will continue, no matter how God wants that to play out. And the Democrats are going to be fighting God as they always do. But our fight needs to continue with our Republican values, with our God-given values that we have. These rights are not written up by Democrats or Republicans. Our rights, our bill, our amendments in the Bill of Rights are God-given rights, and that's where we need to remember, because rights that are given by man will be taken away by man, but God-given rights will stand the test of time, which our Constitution has. So we need to, keep on, making this fight happen. We need to, invite people in on these conference calls. I appreciate the large crowd we had tonight. And Mona, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to speak. You came in a little bit late on us, but Mona, I'm going to give you a few minutes now.
Hi.
Over.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. This is my first time, that I'm on the call, and I appreciate your inviting me. And I had a couple questions. I'm going to be going down on Wednesday with a group from the Lehigh Valley area because there's a few people that I know there, and I just wanted to write on. There's about 5 buses going down. Is there any way that maybe we can share some information like cell phone numbers so that we could meet up? Like you said, if Andy's in a certain area, I would certainly like to meet him and shake his hand, and you and, you know, whomever else from Bucks County is going to be there, so we could have sort of a unified, you know, gathering. We could take we could take it offline. You know, you obviously have the cell phone numbers because you've texted to us.
Yes, we do. And the phone number you're using right now, the 7728 number, that's your cell number.
Yeah.
I will send you over Andy's contact information after the phone call.
Beautiful,
tonight.
beautiful.
Okay, so that way you'll have it. Will you be on one of the buses that Karen Drum will be on?
I don't know. It's Amy Eckert who's organizing these. We're leaving from William Penn Park and Ride up in Bethlehem Township, so that's where we're leaving on Wednesday morning, and she's up to bus number 5 now.
Fantastic. So, and that is through the Lehigh Valley Tea Party?
Yes, Lehigh Valley and the Poconos, and I mean, she even said that she's got people from Harrisburg coming to meet up with these buses. So
the Lehigh Valley Tea Party group is a fantastic organization.
Yeah.
I'm working to try to get the Lower Bucks County Tea Party to hopefully work with the Lehigh Valley Tea Party to understand how to grow a party. And Lehigh Valley probably has 250 or 500 members. I've been in meetings with over 250 people. In Lower Bucks County, we have a dozen people. So, that's a good group up there.
If I can get some information for you, I could hook you up with them. You know, so that they could share whatever their best practices are, and we can elaborate on it. You know, the one thing that I have to say about Bucks County Republican. I became involved this past year. I live in Lahaska, which is Buckingham voting district, but I also was involved in the New Hope Salisbury, and it was a very interesting experience. Maybe if you and I meet up, we can talk about it. But I was just really extremely disappointed in a lot of things that I witnessed.
Yeah, Mona, we're going to take that offline, I guess. And
sure.
We're going to wrap up this call because we like to keep it under 1 hour. And
of course.
But I will definitely follow up with you on that. And I really appreciate, you know, what you're doing, the fact that you're going down to D.C. Hopefully Greg gave you some insight what to expect and be prepared. As he likes to say, keep your head on a swivel. That's military talk, but Greg actually was a staffer for Senator Rand Paul, so you know he knows some inside stories on what happened after the RNC event when Rand Paul was actually attacked by Annie Foss. So there's be prepared for anything down there, and you know
I missed that, so maybe we can take it offline.
Chris.
Yes, Milo. I'll give you a moment.
Something very, very important has developed over the last couple of hours. Black Lives Matter Washington, D.C. has released a statement to the city government and to the local hotels to try to get them to not accommodate our people. The statement goes on to talk about that they support, they're telling black people to stay away from our rallies, which is fine, but they also are saying that they would support any organization or free agents, as they put it, who wish to assist with keeping their people safe. Now, to me, that's an invitation for folks to come down to cause trouble.
Yes.
Oh, my.
Yes.
And that was, like I said, that was just released about 3 hours ago on Black Lives Matter DC Facebook page. I'll share this around on Facebook so people know.
Also, I just saw a tweet that said that they were closing roads into D.C. And
yes,
that
the Democratic mayor of that city does not want citizens to go to our federal city, which should be open to everybody, and they wish to close it down. So, and with the help of Black Lives Matter, a socialist organization such as that, this is exactly what they're going to do. This is exactly what the Democrats are going to do, and this is why we are in this battle against Democrats. And these are not the JFK Democrats from way back when.
No.
Way back when, I think each and every one of us probably had voted for a Democrat for some office or something like that. I would say never vote for another Democrat. Never allow Democrats to get elected. It is just, that party has been taken over by the socialists, and that party is anti-American. And with an act like Black Lives Matter, trying to shut down free speech, that's first things they love to do. So, Mila, I appreciate that information. Mona, thank you very much for journeying down to D.C. on Wednesday, but please be careful. So with that, I think we're going to end the call now. So thank you very much, everybody, for being on this call tonight. And with that, bucksPAC.com closes out. And please be safe, be healthy. I love each and every one of you. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.